All right, so this is a state-of-the-art video. Yesterday I released one, and there is just a bunch of things I still did not discuss. This is a video directly for the FBI, for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and for the Central Intelligence Agency. This is a video for investigators that will investigate, because this case is not proven. This case is beyond proven. This is state-of-the-art video. This text here, however, is nowhere within the video I mentioned. Yet it is extremely important text. Right here. Slovenian Borut Pahor contemplated on burning his car, portraying himself as a victim of assassination plot for about at least probably 10 years before this assassination, as he depicted himself as somebody, at least during MK Ultra, he insisted that he would portray himself as a victim of assassination plot, and what would give him a credibility. He contemplated on this assassination plot at least 10 years, and possibly even more. Year was 2005. I was with this man who became a Slovenian president once I was thrown into the psychiatric hospital, Ljubljana Polje. Since my childhood, since my early childhood, this man was involved in MK Ultra. This man was driving Milan Kucan around. This man was he used cars from other politicians equal to Milan Kucan in what used to be Yugoslavia. This man was just, I don't know how you say that, he was just a spoiled brat of Slovenian communists in Yugoslavia. This was a guy that would drive around politicians, actually communists like Milan Kucan. It was many others that entrusted their lives to him. He would drive them around. He would basically pet them. He was just like a, how can I say, like assistant of these political figures in Slovenia. This guy was like some kind of broker that would go to their homes, associate with them, even drive them around, make sure that they would get whatever they need in that sense. So he operated several different cars, and this car that was burned finally just was something that I said that he planned on doing this 10 years, since 10 years earlier. He contemplated to do this stuff since I purchased the car, even before I purchased the car. Since 1990 he contemplated on this stuff, before 1990, because he got an idea to do exactly what you see here in this video from associating with me. The greater plan of the Slovenian pro-Yugoslav communists was to eventually get me into a car accident, either to get me into a car accident or to have me burn, to create the plot to do something. And because they hallucinated loudly, because they dreamed around police, because this became more and more subject of discussion, Borut Pahor started to contemplate on burning his own vehicle. Borut Pahor was directly involved in a death threats against me during MK Ultra, and the idea, the perception about how he should do something like this to cover his own traces and use this here, as he hallucinated, to execute me in the near future. It was just a matter of time when something like this would take place. And so that's exactly what Borut Pahor did. I did not mention any of this stuff here in the video in a part number 404, but this is also to tell you about some other issues that I also mentioned here in this text. After this, the car that he originally contemplated to burn is not this car. This is not the car that he originally contemplated on burning some other car. They were not sure about, and they even offered him, it was a discussion about which car that he wants, and they even offered him car from some other individual that was used, that maybe he would burn his car. He had Milan Kuchan literally with his associates offering in front of me. This was discussion in front of me, in front of the police, literally. They were not hiding anything in front of the Slovenian police. And then you already know what kind of police this is. Then you already know what type of police do we have here in Slovenia. It's not only local here in Novo Mesto. It's also throughout Ljubljana, it's also throughout Maribor, it's throughout Slovenia. Slovenian police is rotten as it gets. They literally, once they burned this car and portrayed this as, they didn't comment on it. They didn't say that somebody tried to kill him. But when you see this kind of stuff, it looks like almost some sort of assassination plot or something. If somebody would try to instigate, once they did all they possibly could in 2007 to get me even killed, upon my return from United States of America, and would instigate that they tried to do, when they would Google the media, they would get this picture of Borut Pahor. This news about the Borut Pahor and picture about how the car burned was still fresh. So this here is the proof about who tried to kill me. Now, there is some other issues that madden me when I think about stuff that I just spoke to you about. And nobody maddens me more about this issue than this individual right here. This is what really angers me. This is what really angers me. This man screwed me up completely. Do you know how this man screwed me up with his brother Andrew? They were meeting Borut Pahor on a regular basis with the Milan Kuchan, with the Putin. They were meeting each other inside of our house, inside of this Illuminati house in the city of Novo Mesto. And what do you think that happened? Once Borut Pahor did this, once he burned the car, you would want to think that he would tune down because he got whatever he wanted to get. But that was just not the case. And that actually never ever is the case when it comes to assassination done through MK Ultra. The people who are the main culprits of something that is happening, they have a tendency to surface, not tendency to hide. It's not a coincidence that Nurse Yanko surfaced inside of the home for elderly people. It's not a coincidence that all these criminals whom they implicated in, including Igor Juršić, including Stefanic, including Janez Ogulin, all this garbage that they use, they could easily choose other people and remain unseen in the background, not accessible, maybe even with a difficulty, but they don't do this stuff. They label you as a paranoid schizophrenic. They label you with a mental illness, and what they do is they are on the top of the picture. They are right on the surface. When they commit crime, when they do stuff, they don't hide themselves. In fact, they make themselves visible. What they do is, when it comes to MK Ultra, because it's a political thing, they accent their presence. They remind of pledges. They remind of agreements people signed. They don't hide themselves. They make themselves as visible as possibly can be visible. An individual who is a victim of the crime is labeled as mentally ill. So now it goes his word against their public presence, psychiatric credibility, basically, against non-existing justice, against the courts that are implicated in, police that is implicated in. You're not as good as buried alive. You're not as good as buried alive. You are buried. You are buried alive through the psychiatric certificate. This is very important. How did Prince Charles screw me the most in this case? Prince Charles screwed me the most because simply he associated with the Borut Pahor during Borut Pahor's visits to our house here in Novo Mesto. And Borut Pahor had a system. He had a psychological way, pressure, when he was not only, they did not only hide the people that were behind the crime. I mentioned you, let's say, Nurse Yanko, and let's say the police, in parentheses, police officers, garbage from Novo Mesto police station. They make them visible. They make the people who enforced genocide, crime. They didn't hide them. They make them visible. They could choose many other police officers to meet me, many other investigators to meet me, yet they chose the particular police officers and investigators to meet me. Like I said, they're not hiding them. They make them visible because it's your word and you're labeled as a mentally ill lunatic against the prominent figures, against the visible, against accredited by the state police officers, psychiatrists, and of course politicians like this. This is, in German they say, Schreckensherrschaft. This is a terror government. This is a terrorism. This is about terror, organized terrorism type of government. Schreckensherrschaft is a government that is based on a terror and is making itself visible through the acts like this. Now, where these acts brought us, you can see in the United States of America, where you have Donald Trump. Soon you're going to have one on the banknotes. I heard he is already now, as you see right here, they started already to print his picture on a U.S. passport. If I was to issue a passport with Donald Trump picture on it, I do press a criminal charges against the State Department, because the man is not only a con artist, he's a criminal, he's a gangster, he's a thug. And under no circumstances, unless you are completely insane, should you accept as liability this man is, his picture on your passport, at least in my opinion, unless you're nuts. He is doing exactly what I stated previously, just like King Charles. Prince Charles became King Charles. Understandable, because he's a King Charles, is enforcing his picture on a banknotes, on a coins, and etc., etc., so that you can see him. Now Donald Trump, as an American president, is making himself visible, leaving his footprints, his shitprints, basically all over American lives. He's making himself notable. He is marking his territory, and the people who protest against Donald Trump were the people whom Donald Trump was purchasing in our house, like you purchase bananas when you go to the local store. Instead of pointing out this case, the truth, they're interested in getting themselves exposed as somebody using basically their public credentials, previous offices they held. They use that actually to attribute to Donald Trump's ability to persecute people. So basically, you know, like good terror government, terror state government, terrorist sponsored government, terror No, Shrek and Sheshraft is something else. This basically is a government that is basically terrorizing own people, right? So what they are doing is they're using their credentials to demonstrate people how to be obedient, how to be goat, how to be exactly, you understand what I'm trying to say. How did Prince Charles screw me up? Well, after or when, whichever way you like this, Borut Pahor had his car burnt. Yeah, after he had his car burnt, Borut Pahor took several other steps. This is an article that is dedicated to a Slovenian pro-Yugoslav communist, Borut Pahor. I'm not even against the communism. I'm a consequence of the ethnic cleansing. I'm a consequence of the greater Serbian Chetnik state on the Balkans. I'm not against the communism. I don't have anything to do with the communism. With the communism only bothers me because of exactly the issue that I stated. These are the people that strive toward what they refer to as a union with the Serbs. Now, you can see how the union with the Serbs already looked like on a Balkan Wars, the massacres they created on a Kosovo, in a Bosnia, in Croatia. They tried also here in Slovenia. Wherever they come, they try. Pretty much identical to those that you see throughout Ukraine, Russians are causing. So, what Borut Pahor, the way Prince Charles fucked me, was by Borut Pahor arriving in our house, meeting with him and with Milan Kuchan, and Borut Pahor making himself not only visible, but Borut Pahor alone personally brought the article that you see here, and foremost, the article that can be seen. It's called a news outlet. Delo is the name. Yeah, inside of our room, inside of my room here in this house, Borut Pahor did not. He completely unleashed himself. Gesturing that I can still identify him, presented himself that he did this so that I could identify him. Demonstrated me literally. I don't see the. This one. This is the one. I have also used that as a thumbnail. He made himself visible. This is very pertaining to the Central Intelligence Agency, to the Federal Bureau investigation. Is this video that I'm creating for you? Is the one that buried you, all of you. Every fucking one of you. Just wait that I change from Slovenia to United States of America side of the story. Don't be disappointed with me. You will not be, I promise you. It's a mind-blowing video. This is the news outlet that belong to the this what I refer to as the communists, and he was just inside of our room, inside of our house. He was making himself present, visible in front of Prince Charles, and guess what happened? Encouraged Borut, terrorist, literally murderer, killer, to provocate, to make himself big, Slovenian side, through the presence of Charles, because he was not hiding this stuff, got extra credentials, they got extra credit, they got extra, nobody questioned this kind of stuff. It was strange circumstance. It also involved the Prince Charles. But you know what? You end up dead. You end up dead. In 2007, I escaped death for the millimeters. There was no escape from death. Practically. Miracle practically saved me. With Charles laughing in my face. A cretin was laughing. Listen to me, man. Idiotin, British idiotin, burns my temperature to the roof. A cretin was laughing in my face, basically. With Borut Pahor talking about this, laughing about this. If I'm ever gonna identify him, you know, in that sense, you know, like naughty. And British idiot basically laughing at me like I'm incompetent, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. When the idiot practically was preparing for me a deathbed. Charles knew about what took place in Miami. Your King Charles knew everything about what took place in Miami. I will explain to you so that you're not going to have any kind of objection. All of you Illuminatis knew about what took place in Miami. Still pertaining to the belt, to the serpentine, to the serpentine belt of a totally brand new car, Mazda Protege, which had practically no mileage on it. We will get to this stuff. I made a little mistake in part number 4, and I will also correct that mistake. This is basically when you have ability to zoom yourself 23 years back in time and give you, like, with a really crystal clear, with the proofs, with the criminal evidence that demonstrates how much Central Intelligence Agency, Charles, all this, how much you had to do with it. Instead of getting idiot arrested inside of our house, who bragged that I was stupid, laughed in my face, demonstrated the article together, the media article together with the police from Novo Mesto police station, he was laughing at me. Pahor was just with a cushion having a jolly time in our house, literally now demonstrating me the article about the car, his car that burnt, and nobody did anything about this shit. And this shit in 2005 then continued until I almost got killed in 2007. For at least 1 year, Borut Pahor was still bringing up the subject of his car burned. For at least 1 year. At least like in mid-2006, when I returned from United States of America. How many times did Borut Pahor brought up this subject about his car burned during this period of time? I have no fucking idea, but I estimate at least in front of the police, at least a dozen of times, at least 12 times in front of the police, Slovenian police, of which I estimate at least 4 or 5 times was Prince Charles that was laughing in my face. You're a fucking retard. I would say because it's hard to believe this shit. For me, it's hard to believe that you can be so criminal. It's easier to believe for me that you are insane, than that you are retard, than that you are part of it. But there is something else I did not describe also in part number 4, and I actually even made a mistake that I want to correct and create this case completely bulletproof, impenetrable for anybody ever to even suspect about this assassination plot, which afterwards took place in 2007 when I barely saved myself by literally twisting the car in such a way so the car would spin like this and finally stop. The through the friction that I stopped the freaking car. I never did anything like this. And the car finally, it actually stopped. What happened in the United States of America when I purchased this Mazda Protege? Well, it is exactly following. I brought this car home. We had a new car at home. Me, my wife, my ex-wife, Teresa Baquero, we had a new car parked. I was all excited about this fucking car. This was a beautiful car. It looked like a little Mercedes-Benz. You know, that's why I wanted the black color, because it kind of looked like, it wasn't like Mercedes. It wasn't Mercedes, but it kind of reminded of. It was really cute. Black, I put the tinted black windows and stuff. It was really cute. What happened was, my ex-wife didn't want to use the fucking car. I said, come on, we're gonna sit, we're gonna go to the store. No, this is your new car, let it sit in the garage. I let the fucking car sit inside the garage. Okay. I want to go out with the fucking car. No, we're not gonna go with the car. And meanwhile, absolutely everything goes exactly as I explained. The dealer comes already the same night in our home, in front of my wife, in front of the Slovenian police, before the Slovenian police even arrived. Bring the car back, we're going to give you the money back. You're not supposed to have the fucking car. Just say whatever you want, but I want you to have the car back. Violent, dude. Violent, dude. Dude was fucking violent. The owner of this car dealership fucking lost it, man. So we're talking about the CIA with FBI. We're talking about somebody giving him orders before even the Slovenian side appeared. Slovenian side appeared the second day after I purchased the car, and flew from Slovenia to United States of America. Robert Golobic, Borut Pahor. All of a sudden, they all pop up in Miami. They were out of their fucking mind. You bought a new car, not supposed to be, mental patient, that kind of stuff. Went completely insane. And then basically the sale pitch of the terror started. We will destroy your belt on the car, blah, 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 blah. The third day, or maybe even the third day, I estimate, the order came to destroy me this, because it's got two belts. This car, like I said, even if one belt breaks, the other one still operates. You will not destroy, not water pump, not the engine, not anything. It's just really unique car that if others would do this kind of technology, they would prevent probably a lot of incidents that people would have. It's indestructible, basically, even from that point of view. And we have done it in such a way so that when you will drive off with your car, your car will just simply, it will very near here, very near your home, the car is going to stop. Now, the fucking car is still sitting. They might have done this maybe even the 4th or 5th day of the car that I purchased, which is the manager of the Mazda, the guy that takes care of this quality department and of the parts and shit. He will explain to you about this. There were two of them. Now, all of a sudden I see some old man. They push this poor old man on a picture. And some American, tall guy, poor old man, who was offering me his daughter. He had some beautiful, maybe even 2 daughters. He had nothing to do with this. Then it was that guy who actually was doing this shit that he started to regret this stuff, that no, not supposed to, and this and that, changing his mind. They had on the picture, at first it was the theory, well, we will do this stuff because we will help you out. It's going to look good on your resume, on your MK Ultra resume. You know, you buy the stuff, you buy whatever the fuck you buy, and you know, everything falls apart. You know, like I would go really buy in a fucking Brand Smart or wherever I would go and buy and use it for myself. It would be just, it would just finish. It wouldn't work. The same thing, like you go to the, you buy a hard drive here in the local, let's say, Hofer store, German, good quality Hofer store. Forget about this. It's with the brand anyways. I don't know what it was, Seagate or whatever it was. And, you know, I didn't use one. I have one in a drawer. Well, the next thing I see is the police fucking around with this. And the next thing I plug one in so that I can use one, and the fucking thing is not working. My God. When I took it back to the store here in the same shit, I bought a camera. In the store, in the Hofer store, Olympus, good digital camera, new one. The same shit, I didn't even use it, it didn't work. I had to go back to the store to change it. Every fucking thing, I mean, the employees was so good that they actually gave me the refund. They changed it to me. I had these things going on throughout my life all the time. All the fucking time. So this was yet another part that added to this history of this shit that went on with the Slovenian police. That whatever I touched, basically it was just... You're not talking about the pants, or you're not talking about the clothing, the cheaper clothing that I bought it that had maybe a defect on it, and I did so, because it was just cheap. You're talking about a hard drive, you're talking about the Olympus cameras, you're talking about the Toshiba video camera that I purchased, brand new, boy. $100 each. Yet you bring it home and it's sold in a reputable companies, in a reputable stores. And it's just everything turning basically sour. Everything. Wherever you buy new. And so the guy told me, as you... he said, don't worry about. He said, don't worry about. As soon as you go with the car is just gonna snap, and you're gonna feel it's gonna be hard to steer, and you're gonna lose the power. The important thing is that you remember, you put the car on the side. Under no circumstances should you drive any further. Do not go to mechanic. Do not go this. Do not go shit. Then they involved during MTH, I don't know how many mechanics in those area. Oh yeah, we know this guy. Okay, you remember this guy? Yeah, we know. The whole fucking Miami knew me. Who did not know me? The whole Florida knew me, boy. Every fucking mechanic, every dealer, I felt like the whole fucking Miami knows me. I was worse than a fucking celebrity in Miami. I was a dark humor celebrity. When you saw me, not only in Miami, the people will fucking recognize me, and in Dallas, and in Houston, and came to Los Angeles, and yeah, I know, it's written under the mental illness that people have feeling that everybody knows them. Well, this is real. This shit is real. This really is MK Ultra, and this case really was so huge. It's not imagination, it's not whatever. And police alone wanted to make sure that people know me, because if something happens, that they have immediate answer, response to whatever issue they ran, whatever issue they had going on. The Miami-Dade police alone organized these things. And so, yeah, my wife will not go any fucking place. So the car sit in the garage. I am already meeting these people from the dealer. And they say, what the fuck are you waiting for, man? Are you not going to take the car, not even for the spin? The car was just sitting inside the garage. The car was beautiful to me. I was just having a joy, basically, seeing the car fucking sit there. I took the ex-wife to the store and back, and the fucking belt still did not break. It was like my tooth. When they broke me this tooth, it was the same shit. That tooth's supposed to break already. Shit, it still did not break. Let's go drill some more. They had this Novlian, this dentist, and drilled a little bit more because the tool would not want to break as they intended it would. And so they ended up bringing me from Poland to Slovenia on several occasions before they drilled one so much that I remember the physician Novlian here, female, told me, this time it will break for sure. You get it? And the same shit was with the belt. It just didn't break. Okay, we gotta do a bit more. It didn't break him. You gotta do it more. This is the shit that went on during MK Ultra, and finally, in a second week that I owned the car, yeah, finally this belt, they fuck it up so much. This is like, boy, this is like you go fucking kill somebody, and it's like you go and you stone him, and you realize, oh, shit, he's still alive. Let's do some more. This was the fucking procedure. My wife actually witnessed this procedure. Come on. Don't bloody tell me that there was a single fucking person in FBI or CIA that was connected to this case, and it was fucking thousands of you at least 1,000 of you when were employed, when you knew all about this shit, that did not know about this. Whole fucking FBI and CIA knew about this. The most stupid timing belt, serpentine belt assassination plot ever in the history of the world. Hilarious. No, just destruction of the belt is what I'm humorously referring to as assassination. They couldn't destroy that brand new belt on that Mazda Protege. It was hilarious, man. They were inspecting, checking, driving around, making sure, and they did not know how actually to do this in a faster way so that it would look natural, whatever. It involved the whole fucking mechanics. They had a mechanic they would be using that he would put his fingerprints and stuff like this for the dealer's sake. Just bring the car, just take the money back. Just take the money back. So, this is a part number 5 of 5. If this does not convince you about what took place, I don't know what the fuck it will. The car had no miles, basically. 200 or 300 miles was listed on the car. The car, however, was mostly sitting inside of the garage probably for about 2 weeks. This is the whole thing with my ex-wife participating and local mechanics participating. The whole fucking building at 353 West 47th Street observing this, and a manager, Maritza Vasquez, and her husband, Tony Vasquez, and the neighbors. This is insane. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how you guys keep this shit silent about. I don't get you, really. You destroyed my life. That was in 2003. And now it's 2026, if you don't realize. That's 23 years of lies. 23 years of lies, and you also push me through something that is impossible even to explain. No, there is nobody that will dare to even say moo about what I stated here, because I gave you to the last millimeter. I remember even the Publix, they drove my car, and others drove my car, and checking this and so on, and what to do, and fucking boom boom. During the torture, they had torture going on, and didn't try to destroy the belt, and the belt didn't break. It was a local mechanic over there in Miami Beach they have used to put some fingerprints on the car. I think I know who it was. So this case, it will be, this is an easy. Actually, they had two mechanics, maybe even three different mechanics, but it was one mechanic that they chose for this job, to do the job. All the mechanics knew about this shit. This is how pathetic this stuff is. This is, you could see this shit from not miles away, but through entire globe, basically. They saw it all the way in Japan, they saw this thing, where they manufactured Mazda. The Japanese emperor Naruhito was disturbed with this shit. He protested to this stuff, because this is, well, what the fuck is this? I mean, imagine going, buying new stuff just so that you can bring home and thrown on the drugs and boom, 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 and now it's fixed. Huh? Now you have it. Thank you for buying your product. Hilarious part is that my ex-wife and I used to have a store in Miami downtown, and we would sell the merchandise. We would sell the merchandise to the people. This is maybe the most hilarious part of it all. We were selling this merchandise to the people, all kinds of telephones, watches and stuff. Well, this shit is insane. It's insane. Psychiatrists made it. Police made it. Courts made it. The man was involved whose face, I would have sued him. If I would have issued a passport with his picture on it, fuck the passport like this. It's un-American, it's non-American. This guy's an antichrist. I would not, never ever allow something like this too. Not on a passport. You can put that on a banknote even if you want, but on a passport, no. That is crazy. So, man, entire U.S. Congress knew about this stuff. The stuff that exactly what you see is taking place. That much about border power, that much about what finally took place in 2007, when they almost really got me killed, that much about the Novo Mesto police, Garbic, Stefanic, Juršić, Ogulin, who all witnessed this shit inside, even inside of our house. I mean, this is not a police. This is not a police. We're not talking about the police here. This is so many proofs, so overwhelming. Yet when it comes to political crime, not even the proofs like this are good enough, and I'm labeled as crazy, as mentally ill, as insane? Really? Really, yeah, really, this is what you did. That's why I told you that your King Charles and your Donald Trump are like this. Like this. They're like this now. They're shit. They're shit. You have them because you're not interested in the truth. You're not interested in the truth. You're not interested in the justice. You claim you have democracy, even if you have a constitutional monarchy. The truth, however, is what I told you in this case. That's why they exist. That's why, and that's collected. That's what you people. It takes person two the most to give written testament, actually affidavit, that you witnessed MK Ultra, that you participated in it. That's all it takes. So the person can go and submit this to authorities to confirm basically that he is not insane for telling nothing other but truth and nothing else. I have to make a little commercial for the Ulcer Times. You saw this on Ulcer Times. My name is Bastian Ulcer. My name is Boštjan Ulcer. It's the stuff mainstream media will not talk to you about. They don't like to hear the stuff about stuff I did in this video. Let's just do one more thing. My friend Charles, as I saw him as a brother and even as a fatherly figure, as a brotherly figure, He just simply left me on my own. He had a good time here in Slovenia, and the man that you see over there, just as poisonous as Vladimir Putin, or probably maybe even more, who knows, was extremely satisfied about his visits. And truly stupidity, stupid, incredibly awkward, clumsy, and you know, Charles, man, you can take your golden toilet seat, whatever you want, whatever it is that you want to do, but you know, what is it that you're bringing along with you? It's something completely different, totally different. It's a set. That's not going to be somebody out there who will go and say, oh, we don't know anything about this. Yes, you do know. You know mucho about this. You know absolutely everything about this stuff here. This is to complete the video on a Mazda car assassination plot, something that I have and I do pride myself with. Have done state-of-the-art investigation that is nobody out there can go and there is nobody out there that can go and question stuff I did today. This is just truly state-of-the-art. Not that I did today, that I did along the way. You have no idea what they did to me in respect to the car tires. Man, they involved Serbs travel to Slovenia. This car assassination plot, this was a huge thing for the Serbs. They didn't want to be anywhere in the picture. They didn't want absolutely any part of this stuff. They didn't want to have any part of the truth. They didn't want any of this stuff on the surface. And they were driving me insane, crazy, trying to put in my head all kinds of issues, also pertaining to the tires. Made a confusion about which tires that I bought and which I did not. Just like they were drilling me, as I described, you know, in this video, where I described you about how they, after this Serpentine belt incident, they would continue to rehearse the incident that took place. They're talking about the manager, Tony Vasquez, witnessed this stuff. His wife, Maritza Vasquez, witnessed this stuff. They continue to rehearse the incident where the belt broke. You know, where the belt broke, they continue to rehearse the incident. They continue to rehearse the incident so that it would not be visible, basically, where this incident took place. And they started to talk about how I already made, I don't know, a few thousand miles on it on the car, that I was driving around, that did you forget? You know, they ask you a question. Oh, did you forget during MK Ultra? Did you forget about this? Did you already forget that you work over there? Did you forget already that you drove I don't know where the fuck and this and that? This is how they do it. That's exactly how it was done. My wife, my ex-wife, Teresa Bakiro from Ecuador, native of Ecuador, she didn't want to use my car. She didn't want to be driven around. You know, when the car was repaired, when the incident went through, then it's okay. Now you can take me, you can drive me around. So, who is guilty? Who did it? Today I'm asking you, who is behind it? Who did it? You try to cover up the stuff. Try to cover up the stuff now. Slovenian police participated in this torture in Miami. They were doing these things. And it didn't stop there. It did not stop there. It was just as I explained you in this video over here. Just as I explained you in this video here. In part number 2 that I referred to as. Just as I explained you in this video. What Slovenian police did is They tried to do together with the Milan Kuchan absolutely everything they had in their hands for me not to bring that paper with me to Slovenia from United States of America. This is why you have a Miran Sodin who participated in this. Milan Kuchan, Miran Sodin, Igor Juršić, Andrej Štefanić, Janez Ogulin, all these old actors that participated with the Borut Pahor, with the Tanja Fajon, knew absolutely ABC about this stuff. When this paper arrived with me, with a car I should say, from United States of America, these people are fucking losing their mind. And I was really good at driving them insane. After all, that car part broke 3 years earlier. I, for the first time throughout entire stay in United States of America, have returned back to Slovenia in 2006, and that is basically after 11 and a half years of stay in United States of America. This is how much I feared of Slovenia. And Americans repatriated me through total denial of the right to work, to exist. That's how I returned back to Slovenia in 2006. So, I'm gonna say, I hope that you like this video, I hope that you enjoy this video, and let's set this record straight. Case pertaining to the Mazda Protege, now completely proven as assassination plot, beyond absolutely any doubt. If anybody had proven himself car assassination plot that have taken place against me, against him, you cannot go past this one. There is no way. There is this last part that I have to touch. I really don't want to touch this, but it's the same. Everything is the same thing. It's always, it's like identical stuff to the stuff. Basically pertains to a Chinese who are playing with and finally got my watch broken. I will explain to you how this stuff works. Let me explain to you. This was the last watch that was released. This one here. And this watch is all these watches, which watch they're going to release and how and this and that. It was literally decided by the leadership, Chinese leadership, whether they allowed to release certain watch manufacturer and that kind of stuff. And this watch was just this company, these people, they did this stuff. It was this guy, a Chinese guy, that kept coming here in our house. And he was involved in this stuff with a passion. In this MK Ultra, he pulled good interests out of this stuff, and they were becoming wealthy with this watches and stuff. And this guy was just obsessed with the idea to help me out. And it was probably the executive of this company right here. He finally probably even became an executive for this very little known company, SMT, whatever. People did not like this designs, but I did approve them. But this isn't about this here. It's about the whole thing that went on. It was all kinds of people, Americans, that would come and ask about which one, what do you like, do you prefer this or that, and so on. To make the story short, because I already made a long one now in respect to this watch, it's very difficult to prosecute people. And that's what makes this case even more difficult from my perspective, from my point of view. It's extremely difficult. Because Illuminatis chose my mother and my father to rack with. And the same thing was with this dealership, with this car dealership, the way they selected these people to do the stuff. it was also, they selected the people that also would be extremely difficult to say, basically even to say to yourself, aha, I caught you, now you're mine, whatever. It's not so easy. This is what makes things extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. This Chinese guy who was coming and who gestured the police in 2012 to just go ahead and destroy my watch completely. There would not be any more of, because they continue to evaluate it, they continue to interrogate me. This Chinese guy was very nice. This Chinese guy was just very, very, he was just very, very concerned for me, worried for me, and he kept coming, giving me a company, and he still kept bringing his watch on the picture. It must be on the picture, this watch. And I think there was like a youngest one of this whole group that gathered around this watch, that started this manufacturing. They had manufacturing done in as early as in 1991 for this watch, already to go production. Don't ask nothing about how, what, who, how, this and that. They meet with the Japanese, and with the Japanese, then you already know how it is. Japanese just make it happen very quickly. With the Japanese technology, this is just a watch like this. It's just a joke, basically. And so the SMT watch that I demonstrated you, this was the last one that they came up with. This was, I mentioned this because I mentioned this in a previous video, also pertaining to the very same issues. And so I'm mentioning this, that probably this SCME watch here that you see, this was the first one they come up with, and started to, I believe, manufacture this watch. I am pretty sure the Chinese started to manufacture this watch at least in 1996, and I'm probably correct to the last millimeter. Sometimes in 1994, and then in 1996 definitely. You see it? You see it. I know it because of the small pointers. And the second one that came into production, the later period that they started to manufacture, was the watch that is known as a Sanda. Of course, these watches were not, most likely they were not even on the market yet, they were not for sale yet. But I told you that what they do is they manufacture, they make a stock of the merchandise, then they launch the merchandise. I also know because of these pointers, because of different style that it looks like, this one probably, I would even estimate, came on the market. It's a little bit more difficult for me to estimate for this one here, but they started to manufacture, I assume, this one here probably around, I don't know, maybe 2006, maybe something like this. And it was then the last one. And it was then the last one they probably come up with, not the probably, but this is the way it was, which was this one here. They also stated for this company that this is my company, whatever the hell they meant. And this was the Chinese guy that ordered my watch to be destroyed. So this is how difficult it is to go after the people. There's a Chinese guy, actually I like this Chinese guy, and that's how they make it like this, that there is nothing you can do. This completely unknown company. And so this was the last one they came up with. And I estimate that they came up with this one here. I would say about like in 2008, 2009. And for the previous watch, therefore, that I told you, this one here, this would probably go to like 2003. So I'm actually giving you a manufacturing by China, by Chinese manufacturing process, factory process, which is quite a deal actually. The whole history of something that is completely inaccessible to anybody other than a Chinese Communist Party and, or I should say, their manufacturing industry. Well, it was accessible to all the Illuminatis, to the Japanese for sure, because this is basically a copy of the Casio is what it is, for much less.